We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials. Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth, because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation. We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next. The shift is here, along with profound integration. Just who are extraterrestrials and what are their plans? It's time to find out with the Voices of Contact.
We are the voices of experiencers because we are the experiencers. It's time for disclosure and it's time for the truth, because truth brings powerful transformation, and we are the voices of change. We are all about evolution at an expansive level, living life without fear and becoming the bridge between two different realities. Profound evolution is here. Profound integration is here. This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary. I'm a channeler and psychic medium. I'm also a hypnosis regressionist for ET experiencers, and I work with MUFON doing regression work. I also work with PTSD experiencers, paranormal experiencers, and victims of crime to assist them in recall. I'm really looking forward to another amazing show with our panel. I just want to say thank you to all of you for the work you're doing. It's impactful. It's life-changing. And I thank you for being here with me. And it means more than you realize, as well as to the listeners. So, allow me to introduce some of my favorite people. First, we have Deb and RJ DeRoos. They're authors, paranormal UFO researchers, and they're experiencers themselves. They're also the founders of the Michigan UFO Contact that happens every year in Houghton Lake, Michigan at the end of September. They're also owners and managers of the Mystical Awakenings Radio, Mystical Awakenings Vodcast, and the YouTube channel, and a Mystical Awakenings metaphysical store in Houghton Lake. Next, we have Deb Cobble. She was the central figure in Bud Hopkins' international bestseller, Intruders, The Incredible Visitations at Copley Woods, which was made into a CBS miniseries in 1992. She is co-author of the book Abducted, The Story of Intruders Continues, and author of Extraordinary Contact, Life Beyond Intruders. She's a former Indiana MUFON investigator and co-founder of her own paranormal group, Paranormal Underground, and hosts the Midwest Paratalk podcast with co-founder Greg Cable. And then we have Dana Stricker. She is a born psychic medium, and she has been reading professionally since the age of 15. While she excels in her psychic and mediumship ability, Dana is also known for her exceptional skills in remote readings. She's also known and very well-established medical intuitive. In addition to reading professionally worldwide, Dana has worked nationwide on numerous missing person cases. With the amazing panel that we have tonight, I know that anything is possible, and we're going to get deep down in discovery and answers to what's really going on out there. This show is all about transmutating the light from the dark and to replace fear with knowledge. Through my regression work, I have come across amazing cases with some amazing clients. And it's my passion to work with them and to help them have a better understanding of the contact they've had, whether they were taken, have had contact in the physical realm, or through a dream state. I'm grateful that my clients have agreed to allow me to use the regressions on the Voices of Contact. This is the place to be, because the panel breaks down the experiences, providing powerful feedback. I love it because all of the listeners get to connect and learn, and the person I regressed walks away even more immersed in their experience with a new perspective on their contact. So literally, it's a win-win, right? This is the Voices of Contact.
Let's try again.
Hi, everyone. How are you doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Amen.
Yes. Good to see you, Mary and Deb and Dana.
Yes.
Hi.
Very excited.
Good to see RJ.
Hi,
Yeah. I'm sitting next to you.
Guy in the room. It's like, hi, girls. Oh, and RJ.
So-
What do we got, Mayor?
So tonight's show is the subconscious part of a regression that we aired a couple of weeks ago. So just to give a little reminder, it was a regression where there was a woman and she was home at night with her 2 kids. And all of a sudden she saw lights out her window. And when she looked out the window, she could see the helicopters in the sky. And there ended up being a robot in the driveway and some kind of flashing light out of her window. You guys remember that part?
Yes, I do.
So we tapped into the subconscious to ask specifically what these were. So the first one is about the helicopters and why they're there. So the helicopters. Why were the helicopters there?
You're trying to catch something. They were trying to catch something. They were trying to find it.
What were they trying to find?
Multiple lights. More of those white balls.
So it's something they were seeing and trying to find?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are the white balls?
Spying probes. They go around looking at things and sending information back.
Who sends the probes?
The Greys.
The Greys. So it comes from them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember this. That something landed on her roof, didn't it?
Yeah, she heard something hit her roof and roll down it.
Yeah. So maybe one of these orbs, or
And I
So-
think that came out in the regression was that it ended up being the orbs that were outside.
Mm-hmm.
Did she say they were spying globes or probes? What was
Yes,
it?
they were trying to find the probes.
So kind of like a drone.
And I think we've done regressions with her in the past, and I think this is something that she's seen often because in that one regression, she was driving down the road and there was these balls, these orbs that were following her.
Hmm.
So I feel like it's a similar thing that she's seeing.
Okay.
And when I asked in that regression what they were, she said they were probes from a bigger craft.
Okay. Yeah, and that would make sense. If she's dealing with the same species of beings,
Mm-hmm.
they would be similar.
And typically, I think she's always dealt with grays. I think she had one experience where there was mantid there, but all the other regressions.
Sorry.
I just happened to look at Dana when you said mantis.
I know we all Dana.
Try to get away from it and it just comes back.
I know we're going to get her for Christmas.
a big stuffed praying mantis.
Nice.
You can
Nice.
cuddle with it and get to know it. And
Better not.
put his big legs over your shoulder.
You will learn to
Oh,
love the
man.
mantis.
You
He's terrible. Terrible.
can talk to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because not long after we did this, the last time with the helicopters and everything, I was sitting in the house. RJ was over at the shop next door, and 2 helicopters went over my house, and it was so loud.
I have that all the time here.
Freaked me out. We don't have a close airport or anything,
Oh, we got it.
and I mean they went right over. So loud, my
Yeah.
house was trembling. And this is helicopters.
Yeah.
So I ran out the front door, and they were both black.
Yes.
Blackhawks.
That's what I have here. We do have a small airport. I live in a town, a very small town. And there are times where I can hear them coming and they literally buzz the house so close that it shakes the windows. The
Yeah.
cats take off.
Yeah, and for some reason, RJ didn't even hear it. I come running over here,
It's weird.
beating on the door. Helicopters. Did you even see the helicopters?
They were heading down towards Mary's place, and we called her.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
hear
they
'em?
ended up landing, 10, 15 minutes away from that field that I saw in my dreams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was right after that regression and right after your dream where you saw all the crafts. So.
Uh-huh.
Not to be confused with Field of Dreams.
Yes.
Thank you for the clarification.
No, it was a field of ships,
Screams.
crafts.
But anyway, yeah, we do have a National Guard post about 30 miles north of us. So, and they probably headed out of there.
And it was military.
Yeah,
Which is weird.
They use ours for military too, but it's just really weird because we're in the middle of nowhere.
Now, are they heading west or east? A lot of times.
I don't know.
Because I wonder.
I don't know direction very good.
Because where they landed by Mary, it would be pretty much even with where you live, in as far as longitude.
Really?
Yeah.
Mary, we are connected.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a little freaky to have that right after all of this with the helicopters at Mary's dream and then them going to the same place. You know, we literally tracked it the whole way on Flight Trader. So I love my apps.
But getting back, getting back to this. Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say, Mary?
Oh, and I spoke to somebody this last week, and they were telling me about some of their UFO experiences, and they said they were I think they were doing Akashic record work, and were shown that a field with hundreds of crafts with people lining up and getting on them, and he was told that he was like an ambassador, where he was trying to calm the people down.
Right.
And he talked about, like, on one of his experiences, he was taken aboard a craft by 3 Grays, and they told him that they were going to give him a DNA upgrade. And I kind of theorized maybe that's what they're doing, lining up at the crafts, was taking these people on to give them a DNA upgrade and raising their vibration for New Earth. Just a side thought.
Very well could be, huh?
Makes sense. We don't know.
I don't know.
She's like, what?
Yeah.
So
we'll line Dave up at the Mantis craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are real pals, you know?
Yeah.
We are. That's why
he needs to save me from you 3. He's not going to send me a mantis for Christmas, are you, Deb?
Deb's not good.
This Deb?
Me?
You? Yeah, you need to save me from these other 3. Let me meet with mantis all the time.
You can come down and hang out at my house, and then we can talk to the gray guys.
That'll work.
Yeah. They're pretty chill.
We're just trying to heal you, Dana.
So what do you think these orbs and this robot ended up in her place, and the helicopters followed them there? And so I'm trying to figure this out. What are these things are? Why was there a robot?
Well, it seems like the robot might have been planted by the Greys. Was that? I'm trying to.
Yep, in the regression part, yes, that's what they said.
Okay. Are we going to find out more about that now that we're in the subconscious?
Well, yes, by
As a
chance.
matter of fact.
On the very next one, I ask why the robot was in the driveway.
That's why we love you.
Love you too.
Yeah.
Why was the robot house?
The answer I got was that whole thing was a show for our benefit, and it was watching how we reacted to it.
So it was just there to see how you would interact with it?
Yeah, the plane and the light and the helicopters, it was all just a show put on so that the robot could see how we reacted.
Was it sort of like the robot was a probe too?
Yeah,
What were all the symbols you had seen in the robot?
there's a thing like an F with zigzag arms, and there's a circle with a triangle in it. There's a thing kind of like a 4, but the left-handed upright is tilted way in. There's a vertical line with 3 dots on the left side of it. There's like a square of horizontal wavy lines.
Why were the girls frozen?
Very good. Really good. So that darn R2D2 was a probe.
I tell you, pretty sneaky.
Spy. And here I really liked him.
Those
Yeah.
brains are always doing experiments, it seems.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Circle
On
with the
us.
triangle in it is kind of like a symbol of this the new space. What do you call it? They created the new Space Force. It's got like an A and a circle, triangle. So, plus this book I started reading today, she showed that same kind of a symbol. It was weird. So,
So
Interesting.
Space Force has an A with a circle around it.
yeah, and again, Star Trek's got the A's. You know,
Oh,
the
Star
A
Trek. Okay.
Well, no, I mean that's just Star Trek just has that A symbol too, but the new Space Force that we have was created has the circle with the A and like a triangle thing in it. So, and that seems to be NASA has that too. So I think there's a connection there where somebody out there with this circle, the A and the triangle, whatever. So
What does the A stand for?
I don't know.
I always
I
figured
can come up with some
arrow.
guesses, but they're probably not right.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Interesting.
But it makes me wonder, is this truly the Greys or is it military?
Maybe a little bit of both.
I was just going to say the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, in the other part of her regression, because she went through 2 experiences, the other part was where she saw the plane in the field, ended up not being a plane, and they were pulling things from the dirt.
That's right.
Yeah. And there's both military and Greys there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is our only regression that links the military with the Greys.
It definitely is not. No.
Quite
It is not.
interesting. But I wonder if she's supposed to be observing and sharing this. Well, obviously she's supposed to observe it
Mm-hmm.
because they want to see how she's going to react.
All the experimentations.
Yeah. Okay. What the heck are they up to?
Isn't
Always
that
up to
the
something.
question of the year or the century? What are they up to?
Yeah.
All of them,
Right.
and us included. What's our
Oh, yeah.
military up to? What's happening? What is
Well,
happening?
and this, if with these types of regressions, I mean, it's kind of proof, isn't it, that the military does know a lot more than they tell us. And that's what we've been saying for a long time. And that's why we say often disclosure is not going to come from the governments or the military or It's going to come from experiencers, from stories just like this.
Yeah.
This is disclosure. Here you go.
That it is. So
Yay.
for this next one, we kind of move backwards in the regression, and we ask, because if you remember correctly, when she was at the field where the plane was, there was tubes coming out of the bottom of the craft, running into the ground with like black muck coming out of it. So we asked the subconscious what that was.
Okay. Okay. And so we're going to move to a question about that craft that she saw in the field. What was coming out of the hoses?
Oh, it was the waste left over from when they took whatever they wanted out of that dirt.
Oh, so it was like them sucking up the dirt, and then it was the residue that comes out of it? Okay.
It was like mud, I guess.
So these are some questions he has. And her first question is, do aliens, clones, or hybrids live among us here on Earth?
I see them living in remote areas, but not like all over in cities like people think they are. Like walking, you're walking past them on the street and stuff.
You think they probably live out more like country-wise type?
I see a
places?
mountain covered with trees.
Okay.
I don't know if that means they're on it or in it. Oh, under lakes?
Under lakes?
You see a lake, and I feel like they're under that lake.
Where would they stay under the lake?
Oh, caverns.
Is there anything else you can tell me?
I think most of them are on ships.
Most of them stay on crafts. Where are the crafts usually located?
All over out in space. You think that the Greys, I don't think that they have a home world, or if they do, they don't go to it a lot. I think they live mostly on ships.
Yeah, they say the Greys, they like to hang out in the mountains, inside the mountains. So reptilians like to hang around deserts, a little warmer. So
We're in Wisconsin.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
it's not warm in Wisconsin. It's not warm in Wisconsin. It's like but yeah, so and definitely under the water. I mean, we know that. Shoot.
Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of bases under the ocean.
Yeah, best place to hide. We don't know anything about the ocean.
No, different kinds, different species too, not just one.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we don't know a lot about the ocean because it's designed because we know they're down there.
Yeah, and we can't get down there.
Yeah, they don't let us know about that.
Right.
it's like the great unknown for the most part.
Yeah.
You have no clue what's under that water. None.
And it's very difficult for a human body to get down that deep. I mean, we can go down.
What better place to hide?
Exactly. We can go down a certain level, but where they're at, a person couldn't survive, and nothing that we can build would not cave in under the pressure at that depth. So that's like the perfect place to go.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a huge mountain range that runs through the middle of the Atlantic, and they've proven that there was beaches at the bottom of these hills at one time because the waters weren't that prevalent here on this planet. So that's where the big flood story comes in. But, so they could be inside those mountains down under the ocean. I mean, who knows? I mean, there might have been civilizations there already.
Atlantis.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just taking over these things and crazy.
Yeah. And this one too, Deb, like last week, is making my mind go a little bit crazy because, thinking about all this, you hear about they're prepping us to literally take us off of this planet before it's destroyed. And then we heard many regressions of different beings, and it's oftentimes the Greys who are living here. So, are we going someplace else or are they coming here? There's a lot of things that point to many of them walking among us. The hybrids are right here and look a lot like we do. So
I still think that most of us are probably from something already.
Mhm.
Hybrid, like not like half and half, but like percentage wise.
Right.
There's background there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there really is. And there is connections, even like last week's, that was a very emotional connection. So we're intertwined with these other beings, and they seem to know more about what is going on than we do.
Mm-hmm.
What's that noise?
What noise?
Is that the dog?
Oh,
is it like a tapping noise or something?
Oh, it's her.
Is it?
She's got that squeezy ball thing. So
Oh, I see.
stress
Blaming
ball.
the poor puppy.
Yeah. Oh, Shelly.
Oh,
Oh,
poor baby.
say
So-
hi, everyone.
Oh, cute.
yeah, there's stuff out there that the government has put whole towns like Paradise, California, for alien races, hybrids. So just putting that out there.
Ooh, we'll have to go there.
I was just gonna say, field trip.
Right.
Well,
Road trip.
oddly enough, when they had those fires out there, that town didn't burn. It was right in the middle of them. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Just burning the surrounding ones, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, there was probably a reason why it didn't. So,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's information out there that talks about that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right. But most of what she's dealing with and talking about is Greys, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Okay. Just trying to help my brain.
So this next one, she wanted to ask the question if there's like human hybrids and like animal hybrids out there on crafts.
Now, are there human or animal clones that live off of Earth?
On the ships.
They live on the ships? So do they clone animals too?
They keep like a doomsday vault of DNA. Like if everything gets killed, they can repopulate with it.
Okay.
Not living animals, but DNA from animals.
So are clones and hybrids living a full life? Are they happy?
I think they don't know anything any different. I see the Greys and the clones and the hybrids as having sort of dampened down emotions. And even if the hybrids or the clones were more emotional, because of the way they're raised, they're not, I guess they're not,
They really don't recognize.
they don't recognize that their lives are dull, at least by what we would consider a life should be.
well, I can tell you, and I somebody out there listening, if I'm wrong, but in Greenland or Iceland or other European countries, they have a DNA vault where they've put all the DNA in these, and it's like in a, it's in a glacier type setting. But they have those. Again, the government made those. So if something does happen, they have all these DNA of all these animals and us and everything else. So that's a fact. I saw it.
Don't they have? Isn't there a program where they actually have human beings? I can't hold.
Well,
Do you mean like specimens of human
Or
beings
DNA.
or
I mean like human beings.
cloned human beings?
Oh, I don't know about that.
Human beings.
I think our Google person is looking that up.
Yeah.
There's actually
Hey, Deb.
there's actually 1,700 gene banks throughout the world.
Yes, there's a lot
Gene
of them.
banks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they call them gene banks,
Yep.
and they hold collections of food crops, seed, and DNA from all
Yeah.
different kinds of plants and animals, including humans. In case of a catastrophic natural disaster or war.
Right.
So, but there are 1,700 of them all over the world.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
No,
No.
I didn't either.
Learn something new every day, man.
So now, if they had a disaster, and there was no humans left, what would the point of that be unless they
There wouldn't be unless
Extra-
alien
well,
race comes down and does
and
it.
that-
extraterrestrials would come down and
Exactly.
get that and make that?
Another race who found this tore up old abandoned planet
Yeah.
and stumbled onto one of those gene banks
Yeah,
would take
it's a
it back
disaster.
and
And maybe
clone-
that's already happened, and that's what we are. And oh my
I mean-
gosh, we're going in a great big circle.
I mean, for real. I mean, I was just getting ready
Yeah.
to say that. And I mean, hell, look, they're tinkering around with the DNA of a great woolly mammoth right now, talking
Right.
about bringing one of those back.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
don't.
I honestly think they've already cloned a dinosaur. I mean, Jurassic Park. It
Has
just
no
kind of
one's
told.
seen Jurassic Park?
Exactly.
And like the end of Jurassic Park.
Exactly.
Hello.
So, I mean, I
That's
know they have.
too
And the
much for me.
woolly mammoth, I think they did that too already.
And they do have cryonics. And it's where they replace the fluid in the body when someone
Oh, they freeze them,
passes or right at the time of death with antifreeze. And then they put the body on dry ice. They have not brought somebody back from that.
That we
Uh,
know
At this
of.
point.
That we know.
But this is a huge
Exactly.
business.
Yeah.
This is something.
Yeah,
that
people pay a
really-
lot of money for that.
Yeah. 28,000.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That way I'll
So-
come back when.
Cryonics Institute is a Michigan-based company. It offers whole body preservation for
Those
$28,000.
Michiganders are crazy kids.
And you know what?
They
That's
are.
not that much higher than a regular funeral. I mean,
Right.
God, my
Yeah.
late husband's funeral was 10 grand, and that was 30 some years ago.
Well, there's one Elcor in Arizona that does it for like 200,000
Why did the Egyptians mummify everybody?
or 80,000 if you only want the brain saved.
You know, listen,
We're going off on the rails here, man.
Sorry.
just thinking about what you're really going to look like after being like out of it for like 2,000 years,
But
cryogenics or not, you're likely not going to be.
what if they have? What if they had the technology to regenerate your cells and, nanotechnology? And all?
Relift some of the things that have fallen.
How about I just get me a real nice AI body and put my essence in that?
There you
Right.
go.
Well, that
That's
probably happens. Yeah, my
I'd do that.
You never
I switch
know when
mine
the
out a
voices
couple
of
times
contact.
a
are
lifetime,
there.
you know, depending on my mood for that day.
As long as I got to pick what I look like, I'd do that.
Bingo.
Yeah, I mean, this probably goes on everywhere out there. I mean, they're so far advanced people. There's this stuff, that's why they live for a long time. They have the technology
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah.
They look at us and go, "Oh, hey, look how cute! They actually die." Oh, that's novel.
Okay. This is all pretty bizarre. Leave it to us.
You just take that
Now this is
and
a
run
whole
with it.
different show. I'm feeling a whole different show going on here.
Yeah.
So what we're
Must be,
learning is the
Getting near
Greys
Halloween.
are mostly living underground and in very rural areas. But I think some of the other beings walk among us.
I agree. Yeah.
And I think that's why they had those big eyes, because they are used to living in a darker
Do you
atmosphere.
think that's like, I was listening to somebody the other day. I can't think of the name. You guys have mentioned the name before. It's a guy. And he's saying that with the Greys, for instance, that the eyes, the big eyes, it's actually like a lens that pops over.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they don't really look like what we think they look like.
Right. Yeah, it's a lens. Yeah.
Because they can't take in that much light.
Yeah.
Or something, which would make sense if they're underground, for instance.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Once they come out, they'd be like,
Or like me when I go outside with the dogs in the morning.
I wasn't going to say that, but okay.
Part gremlin.
I mean, it's the troll legends, you don't know.
There's always a kernel of truth in every legend and fable, and I mean, it all started somewhere.
That it did.
Vampires. Don't like the light.
That was my vampire imitation.
Very good, Dana.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
That'll haunt me for the rest of my life. All right.
So for this very last one, she wants to ask the question if humans have ever died when being abducted. Sorry, Dana.
So have humans died accidentally or deliberately during any abductions?
Yes. Both.
Both?
Yeah, it wasn't like, let's go commit a murder. It was like, let's see what makes this thing tick. Oops, we killed it.
Can you tell me more about that?
I see a person dissected like a frog. Their stomach cut open and their skin pulled back and their organs exposed. And they're dead. I think that sometimes people get sick and die from exposure to the ships. Sometimes some of the things they do to people make them get sick and die later. I don't know if they're like trying to see what makes people get sick and die, or they're just experimenting and that's what happens.
Okay. Is there a way to communicate with our clones or hybrid children?
Altered states of consciousness. You can get some communication. You're not like talking on a phone or something to someone, but you can pick up on emotions. Sometimes you might feel a strong emotion that you don't know where it suddenly came from.
First of all, those people that do that, open people up like that, they're not very advanced spiritually beings. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Golly.
pretty disgusting.
When I was 15 years old and I was in high school and I had to dissect a frog, I just couldn't. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Me
You
either.
see, Yeah, go ahead.
We had to do fetal pigs,
Oh,
and I wouldn't do it.
no.
I made my best friend do it. And
Yeah.
nope.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And you can see that this biology class we're handing out humans,
Yeah, again, this is why I am the way I am. This is not going noticed by me, even before I heard that. That doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah.
Because really, we've probably done the same thing to some of them.
Well, if you think about it,
No
I
doubt.
mean, we know. What did they do with the bodies from Roswell?
Dissect.
What happened to
And
the
I don't
ones in
think it's
Area
just
51?
Roswell. It's probably other crashes. There's
Oh,
other
yeah.
things that have gone on.
There's
All kinds
many
of
things
crashes,
we
yeah.
don't know about.
We are not known for our humanity, even to human beings. Why would it
Right.
switch to something like from an alien
Right.
perspective?
Yeah. Why would we would treat them even better than ours?
Even if they could communicate like a human
Yeah.
or with telepathy.
Sorry, you are.
That's how we're brutal. We're barbaric that way.
We are.
Still
We are.
to each other and probably to them.
Yeah, that was my thought when I was listening to it at first. It's like, oh my God, that's horrible. How can they do that and call themselves advanced beings?
No,
and then it dawned on me, we do the same thing. And not only to off-planet beings, but it's a normal thing to do in schools. Dissect different animals.
Yeah, I did.
We're not very advanced beings.
I didn't do the frog either.
It still haunts me today. I mean, when I remember that, I don't like it.
I couldn't do it.
No. And they told us, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. And I did not do it.
And I couldn't be friends with the kids that wanted to do it.
Oh, wow. She really took this. I wouldn't have any friends if that was the case with me, because all of mine were like, nope. But, I guess in that perspective, if you look at what we do here, but at the same time, as a human being, it ticks me off.
I'm looking at Mary's.
Then some gutted like a fish or laid out like a fish or,
I'm looking at Mary. She's like, give me a frog.
A sentient being with a conscience, probably with the capacity to feel pain, both emotional and physical. Yeah. And we do it every day here.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah.
Great. I'm only going to eat plants and sing Kumbaya.
I wondered sometimes if there are people who got, abducted and then had a heart attack because it was so traumatic,
Probably.
And and I have heard people talk about getting abducted. Travis Walton, one of them, saying that the act of being abducted or something happened to them inadvertently during the entire event that basically killed him. And he said the reason they abducted him was because they took him back up on the ship and fixed him, basically brought him back to life and repaired the damage that was done before they cut him loose. And they had him for 5 days.
Yeah.
He didn't talk about that part of his experience for many, many years. And then all of a sudden, he starts saying, I think they saved my life. So, I wonder how many times that happened also, and people don't even realize it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that I wasn't abducted, had a heart attack out of fear, and then they revived me and they brought me back. I don't know.
Right.
But in order for them to be able to do that, they need to have some fundamental knowledge of the human body. And I guess there's only one way to figure that out to get that, and that's, doing stuff like that, just like we've done.
Animal testing.
We did it to cadavers, human bodies in the doctors in the 18th century.
Oh yeah.
In the schools, they used dead bodies. They bought dead bodies to teach with.
Right. Well, yeah, they'd have a whole audience looking at it. And,
So I mean, it might not be as bad as it sounds. Maybe these people were already gone, and they're using it to learn about us so they can help us. I don't know. I'm just throwing out thoughts, for it all there.
Right. Yeah, you never know.
Making excuses for my buddies.
It was Dr. Frankenstein that said, "Oh, I got a cadaver here. I'm going to bring it back to life." So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, somebody thought of that, but that's how that book. I'm sure Mary, her name was Mary.
Mary Shelley.
Yeah,
It was
Shelley,
Mary, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Wow.
I'm kind of with you, Deb. I don't like the thought of them intentionally killing people at all.
Mhm.
But we do have to realize that we're not a lot different than them. They may even be more humane. We don't know. Like with Travis, they killed him, fixed him, whatever. We also know many stories about people being healed by them. It happens often.
Now we need
And
to
I
have a
kn-
discussion about that. I need someone up there to pay attention to me. I got some stuff needs fixing.
Yeah.
You
And
and
they
me
may
both.
have, you and Dana and myself are all three of us people who, in medical terms, here should not be here,
Yes,
For real.
for
and
real.
we are.
Yep.
So how did that happen?
True. They may be doing stuff I don't even realize.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
they have no idea for me.
Mhm. Yeah. They have no
Sorry,
idea
I wasn't
why
ready to go yet, apparently.
I
Leave me
had
alone.
lung cancer and didn't. They took out part of my lung. I said, "Oh, that's not cancer, it's something else." I had 2 brain tumors that just disappeared. We don't know. Doctors don't know what happened. So, we don't really know their full agenda or what they are doing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I have no doubt that humans have accidentally and maybe intentionally been killed. I also know that we have a lot of missing people on this planet.
Yes,
A
we
lot
do, and
of
it's
missing
increasing
people.
by the day. It always
Mhm.
feels like,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Human trafficking is huge.
Yeah,
That's a part of it.
it
But
is.
there are still so many that are gone without a trace. Just gone. Not ooh.
And there goes the shuttle.
All aboard.
Speaking of which,
Oh, without a
they
trace.
need a new muffler on that bad boy.
Right. But I'm not trying to scare people or freak people out, but these are things that you have to say,
No, and
Hmm.
it's just
Something's
common
going on
sense,
here.
though. When you start looking into this stuff more and more, especially for me, I'm kind of newer to that. Makes a whole lot of sense with the people that just pop, they're gone.
Mhm.
There's never anything, nothing,
Mhm.
no body, no crime scene, no nothing. They're just
Right.
gone.
And there's also people that go missing, all of a sudden show up.
20 years later.
Well, it like 500 miles away
Oh
from
yeah,
where they originally were, and like
No
they
idea.
have no
who
idea.
got they.
stories. Yeah,
Mhm.
the missing 411 stuff.
Mhm.
Dave
Oh,
Politis
yeah.
talks about that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I've been very
In national
intrigued by that
parks.
for a long time.
National parks, exactly.
Were they put away for that reason? Really?
But let's go camp there.
There's a portal there. That's where we're gonna make a park there. Okay. Can't guarantee if you go in there they're gonna come out, but
Staircase in the middle of the forest. Don't go up.
You know what? I totally would go up because
I would totally go up too. I
Yeah.
would. I'd be come on, let's go. Get your camera out.
Why is that tree form a circle? Should I walk through the circle? Sure.
somebody at the top stairs going,
Now, if there's somebody up there doing that, then I wouldn't go.
right. I mean, either.
I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Come
Yeah.
with me, little girl.
Yeah.
And we would probably go up the stairs as well because we do really crazy things in the woods. And then we think,
Oh,
what
curious.
are we
But
thinking?
some
Why
of us
aren't we
see
thinking?
you? Yeah. All right. Well, that's interesting stuff. But man, is that different from our usual?
yeah.
Very,
Yes.
very different. Very, Yeah, the last 2 weeks
disturbing
have
to some
been.
extent. Yeah.
There's a lot of emotional stuff this last couple shows.
Mhm. This one
Excuse me.
certainly makes you think. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Stay tuned for
that's
next
all we
week. Will be on the lighter side.
Maybe we'll have to wait and see. That's all we have for tonight's show. So
All
big
right.
thanks to
Thanks
you
for the
guys in the
nightmares.
audience and person I regress. Have a good night, you guys.
All right, love you guys.
Bye.
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 Oh, thank you.
We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials. Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth, because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation. We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next. The shift is here, along with profound integration. Just who are extraterrestrials and what are their plans? It's time to find out with the voices of